Hi, and welcome to the first video of the new Siemens NX Tech Tips series. In this series, I'm going to walk you through some tips and tricks that I've learned in Siemens NX over the time that I've used it. These are going to be based around small videos, so they're not going to be too long, they're going to be quick, straight to the point, and hopefully you'll find them really useful. Okay, let's get into the first one. Today we're going to go through how you can visualize feed rates on a screen. This can be super helpful, and when I did learn it, I used it in almost every program that I did, especially when you're doing deep hole drilling and stuff like that. This is such a handy tool so you can see what's going on. You don't have to keep posting and checking the code and seeing what feed rates are happening where. This can be really helpful. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so we have a pretty simple part here. It's got 3 blind holes in the top and 1 through hole. This is just going to be a really simple part just to show you the functionality. When I learned this, it was super helpful because, to be honest, like drilling and any sort of deep hole drilling was really painful for me to do. I just didn't enjoy it that much, but as soon as I figured out this tip, it actually became quite enjoyable. So let's have a quick little look into what we've got here. So our first toolpath is going to do the blind holes, and our second toolpath is going to come through do the deep all the way through hole. It breaks through the other side. Okay, so how do we see the feed rates? Let's take a look into the toolpath. So what we'll see here at the bottom of the toolpath, we have an options button. And in this button, you'll see edit display. So we want to go into the edit. And here you'll see a couple of different options. The one we're bothered in is the feed rates here. So we're going to turn the feed rates on. And now when we hit generate, you'll see a feed attached. So let's split this model and just have a little bit of a better look at what's going on. So one caveat to this is it only shows if you're on single moves. If you're using machine cycles, I don't think you'll see it. No, so we don't see it there. So we have to use single moves, which I like anyway. So here, let's take a look into our strategy and our feed rates. So you can see we've got our cut at 100% and we have a feed of 800. So this is a really simple toolpath because it's not cutting through anything. It's seeing the stock, and that stock is just like it's literally just a block. So it's not seeing this at all. So this is irrelevant at the minute because obviously these are just blind holes for now. So you can see it has just got a feed rate of 800. So now if we start tampering with this a little bit, so let's just change, let's say we don't want the traverse to be 100 or rapid. We want to do it as a percentage of cut. So let's have a look at traversal. Let's change it to, I don't know, millimeters per minute, and we'll put 5,000. Now you can see that instantly updates. So now you can see we've got a feed rate of 5,000 for the traversal cuts, and then as soon as it comes to 1 mil above the job, it changes to a feed rate of 800. So that's one example there. Now a better example would be this intersecting hole. So this hole is interrupted. So if we have a look at this, so now you can see there's a little bit more going on here, which is, this is where it really comes into its own in any sort of deep hole drilling, or if you're breaking through or last cuts, that sort of stuff. So let's do the same thing on this toolpath. Okay, so now we can see we've got a range of different feeds going on here. So let's have a look at our feeds and speeds. So we can see our main feed is at 500. And we have a first cut of 50%, a last cut of 75%, and a step over of 25%. And you can see how they're being activated here. So you can see it's coming in traversal. So that would be rapid. That's why it doesn't show you a figure, but we can change that. Let's just say for this, we'll say 1,000. So that will be 1,000 feed here. And now our first cut. Yep, first cut is 50%, so that is why it's at 250, and that starts 1 mil above the job as we specified here. And then when we get to within 1 mil, so where we set that is in strategy, and we have a first cut value of 1 mil. So the first 1 mil into material will be using this first cut feed. and also it adds on your extra I've got 1 mil there as well. So essentially this is 2 mil. So then when we're 1 mil within the material, it then goes to 100% of the feed. So now it switches to, our cut 500. And we go all the way down until we reach this bit here. Because our first cut value is 1, it sees this intersecting strategy here, as we can show just on this. This is really nice. So you can see it's being highlighted here, here as part and IPW. So we can have this as IPW, we can have it as part, or we can have it as part and IPW. I personally like IPW because IPW, it feels more intelligent that it knows if there's stock there or not. So because we've drilled this in a previous operation, it knows that there's a little bit of stock here, but not in the middles where the drill's already broken through. So it's clever enough to know that it needs to slow down on these cross areas. So that's why I like it there. So here we can see we reduced to 125. And where's it getting that from? It's getting that from this step over distance here. So in strategy, we can see we have a crossover distance as 100% of the tool. And it's doing that distance at this feed rate, 25%. And then as soon as we break through the hole, so about here, so we can see we've broken through fully, then it speeds back up to 100%. So it's just a really good tool. I really enjoy using this. And you can see our last cut breakthrough here is set to 75%. So this is just a really nice, quick way that you can visualize feed rates, and hopefully this makes any sort of drilling or deep hole drilling a little bit more enjoyable. It certainly did for me. That brings us to the end of this video. If you liked what you saw here today, maybe like and subscribe and keep up to date with the series. Also, check out the training material that we're doing. We're trying to do everything that we can for free of charge. We want to get information out there to the cam world, and we want to try and bring the cam together. We want to try and make it like one big cam office for everybody to work in. And we want to have a massive community that you can talk to each other and learn from each other and almost have it as if you're working side by side each other. That's what we're trying to create here. So like I say, if you like what you saw here today, maybe comment below and show me a few things that you've learned, and maybe we can incorporate them into future videos. Okay, I'll see you on the next one.